Hello and welcome to the video of my Far East inspired junk journal. I apologise the lighting isn't great, it's because it's behind me and I'm ineffectually blocking it out, but there's nowhere else I can actually video at the moment. So this is my first video of a junk journal that I've made. I've been making them for quite some time. But I've never videoed them before, which is a shame because it would have been a nice record of all the junk journals I've made with family and friends and the ones I've sold in my Etsy shops over the years. But anyway, I've got a tripod now, so in future hopefully I will be videoing all the journals I make. As I said, this is Far East inspired. Ever since I was a young child, I was pretty much obsessed by all things Asia, Far East, East and Southern Asia. And as an adult, I've been lucky enough to actually have travelled quite extensively through Asia. I haven't seen it all. I'd like to. There's still time. So along with this journal, I've got this really cute East Asian inspired box and got this little Chinese lucky charm. I think it's a zodiac. I always thought it was a lion, but looking at it, I don't pick it up. I'm not sure it is. Maybe is there a ram? Maybe a ram or something like that. It looks like it's got a curled horn there, perhaps. So I'm not quite sure. I do apologise what animal that is. So the journal's tied up with this pink, very shabby chic piece of material. It's not sari material, it actually came from material that's meant to be made into a salwar kameez. So it's similar, but not the same. And not Far East Asian, but I liked it. I like pink. The cover itself, I'll just take these out for a second. So this cover is actually made from a vintage poster that I had on my walls about 25 years ago. And it's a print of a Japanese screen from about the 18th century. It's got birds blossom in a snowy sort of landscape. It's a little bit worn in places because, it's vintage, it's lived. But I actually like that. I think it adds to it. It's really gorgeous. And also it's got this lovely piece of vintage textile here that I've made into a pocket. And inside the pocket I've got a set of 4 cards actually from my hoard. I had a massive hoard of Asian inspired ephemera. I've had this set of cards for at least 20 years, so they're vintage too. And they've all got paintings by Chinese artists. And this is from a Japanese woodblock, I believe. It's Burden Botanical, which is really sweet. Some of the stuff in here, there's clippings that I've taken from newspapers and magazines over the years that I've just liked and have been in my hoard for a long time. And it's this time I let go of some things. So yeah, there's quite a bit of vintage stuff that will be in here. Not my entire hoard, so I may have enough stuff to make another journal at some point. Oh, one moment. I thought that was somebody at the door, but it's not. So this is, a cocktail parasol, and I was absolutely obsessed by those as well. So I just put one in here. And this first pocket, it's got a lovely little bird in a cage dangle on it. A lot of bird motifs in Asian arts. So this is just a pocket I made. It's got some washi tape on it. I ordered this washi tape specifically for this journal. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's quite gilt and metallic looking, and you can't really see it in the video, but yeah, it's really beautiful. And there's this kind of imagery here. This is from a little paper pack I picked up in a charity shop of all places. That was a great find. So that flips up. This is something I cut out, probably from a Sunday magazine, which I just, again, I like the image, the pagoda image. Got little bits of flower ephemera that you can write in. A lot of ephemera I've actually edged, and you can't see it, but it's gold, metallic gold paint that I've edged a lot of ephemera in. This is one paper pack that's featured throughout this journal. These are herons, and it is just absolutely beautiful. It's very East Asian inspired, and it's very reasonable. I think I got it from Works, maybe about £3 or £4, and it's quite big. So yeah, I was super happy when I found that. Again, a nice little piece of ephemera you can write on. This is again from my hoard of clippings, and it's of geishas. Not quite sure what's on the back, but yeah. So I've added that. Here again, another little piece you can write off the back. That all folds away. I made these by using, I could print out a lucky coin and I just put brads in them. Stuck them on cardboard, put brads in them. It works quite well. Then we have on the first pocket this beautiful image, and I printed this on photographic paper. So it's just like a real photo that's been colorized. And this is actually quite a famous geisha. Her name was, I hope I pronounce this right, Teruha, and she was also known as the nine-fingered geisha. Can't tell there, but apparently in this photo her finger is actually bandaged there. And this is a little friend. She might be a Maiko, which is like a geisha in training. Maiko means dancing child, geisha is person of the arts. Historically, Maikos would go in from about the age of 7, but recent times they have to be 15, I believe. And they tend to have much more colourful kimonos and much more decoration in their hair. They speak less because they're not educated as much into the arts. And geishas obviously are trained culturally, in conversation, dance, tea ceremonies, things like that. And the reason she was called the nine-fingered geisha, and actually she's had a really interesting life, and you can go online and read up on her, is about the age of 16 she fell in love and had her heart broken, and she thought she'd commit suicide by cutting off her little finger on the left hand, and obviously she survived this, thankfully. And she actually went on to have a really interesting life. She travelled, she became quite renowned, and then she eventually gave up all the sort of travelling and that sort of geisha lifestyle, and became a Buddhist monk, or perhaps nun. But really, really interesting history, and I think it's a beautiful image, and I thought it'd go really well there. Here we have just a lot of ephemera. Some I printed out. Some like this has come from my hoard. It's a colorized photo of Japan, probably from a Sunday magazine. Just pop that back in there. This is like something I printed off, a little Japanese letter, and you can journal on the back there. It's a copy of a Japanese stamp showing Mount Fuji. A tiny little envelope, so pretty. And I've just cut out some ephemera from a paper pack I found in the charity shop and gilt edged these two, which I don't think the camera can pick up, but it's shiny and pretty. So I've done some collaging. I'm a bit of an art. I have a background in arts and literature, and yeah. So this paper here is actually copies of traditional Japanese kimonos. So I've cut some of those up. This is a little page from a vintage dictionary I have. It's obviously saying geisha, and I've added a few little bits from the paper pack. This is decoupaged napkin of cherry blossom, which I do tend to use quite a bit in my work. I love it, and I'll be absolutely heartbroken once that pack's gone, and it is dwindling away, because I've probably had it at least, I don't know, 5-10 years maybe. So there was stamping throughout. This is a little bird cage, some collaging. Can't see that very well. And that's being metallic gold coloured. This is from a paper pack that I have had in my hoard. Again, gosh, I would say at least 15 to 20 years, you know. I don't know if you'll still get it, but I bought two at the time. I knew one day that I would use them, I just didn't know when or where, and it's just so pretty, really pretty. So I've got a lot of coffee dyeing, spraying, ink dots. This is a stamp from the Great Wall of China. Nice little collage there of a traditional junk. This pocket we have. I mean, weren't they beautiful? Their adverts, just so colourful. This is for safety matches. This is one of my floating pockets that I make. This is that beautiful washi tape, collaged on it and decoupaged. It's double-sided. So we have another stamp there. Right on the back, some little bit ephemeral gilt-edged. Inside is a woodblock for a kimono. Very beautiful. And that just tucks away here. Okay, I've got this lovely bird motif. Right, now this is another image on photographic paper. Here, I think she's absolutely beautiful. She is a Chinese princess. I couldn't find out exactly which one. I did try searching the image, and all it came back was it was basically a Chinese princess. Probably taken in the 1870s, 1860s. This is just a copy of Chinese money, right on the back of that, and a Chinese stamp, copy of one. See the heron on there, you can use that to write on. Just pop it back in there, she's so beautiful. And it has a bit more collaging here. Probably can't see this, but I've got this metallic East Asian stickers. They're really pretty, and I've kind of dotted them throughout. This is one of my favourite spreads in the book. I really like it. Let's see. So starting this page, this is one of my art pieces. This is a lead paints. Did some stenciling on it. Did some collaging. Edged another image and some washi tape. I just really like it. It's nice, it's textured. You can write on there if you want. And here is a tack that they made, and this is from a vintage book, Ballet for Young People, I think it's called. And this ballet is The Prince of the Pagoda, which I thought went well with the theme, and I've done some collaging, decoupaging, and then you can just write on the back. This is a petal from, again, an East Asian inspired big flower I had for many years. I I loved it. But it's a little bit shabby chic now, so I've taken it apart and I've started using the petals in bits and bobs, basically. This is a photograph on a card of a geisha. I'm not quite sure what date that is. 6th of the 7th, by the looks of it. And I thought it went really well with this layout. This is a sheet from a notepad that I actually bought when I was in Japan myself. I was in Japan in the 1990s, so that's pretty old. There's a few of these pages throughout the book. And I love this image. I use all the images of these herons in the book from the paper pad. I have no more of them left at all. So yeah, a bit of textile tab there. Some script, some little butterfly, stamp of geisha. Again, some sort of collaging for the edging of paper. I don't like to see a completely plain page for some reason. I just have an urge to put something on a page. Some more washing that, and you can write on this obviously. This is again a page from the paper pad that I've had, oh god, at least 15, 20 years I think. And these are herons. I think herons or cranes, yeah, something like that. They feature a lot. This is from an old colouring book I took apart. I just think it's really pretty. Some more script. And stamping and ink splodging. Again, we have this lovely metallic stickers that I've had for a while. Actually, I got those from a charity shop too. Decoupage. Cherry blossom. On this one, I actually added some gold leaf to that cherry blossom. I wish I had more. I would have added more, but I didn't. It's another page. I can't remember if this might be from either a Japanese or Chinese passport. Possibly Chinese. I'm struggling to remember, but I'm pretty much obsessed by passports, old passports as well. So I thought this lovely image of peacocks. Peacocks are very symbolic in East Asian art and culture. They sort of symbolise like power and beauty, culture, civilization. I think in Japan, sort of love and protection and generosity, and they're very beautiful. This, I think this is a Japanese celestial sphere. Yeah, that looks like the right way. Piece of paper, and I printed it on this paper, and this paper is vintage paper as well. It's pretty thin. I love it. So you can journal on that. This is traditional Chinese patterns. Again, from sort of ancient, well, I say ancient, I mean antique patternation in Chinese arts. Again, more scripts. I mean, I love it. Here we have some more peacocks. I love a peacock. Some splodging. More script. The other side of the cutting page. And this I've cut out as a little drawing of Mount Fiji. Oh, excuse me. A bit chesty today. Okay, and there's the back of, I think it was the herons or the cranes, and you can write there. I love this little corner. It's got a little pagoda, like gilt edged as well. You probably can't see it, but yeah. Love a little stamped geisha. Again, the stamp I got from a charity shop. Always go to a charity shop, you just get a wealth of material you can use. I've clipped a lot of stuff in because if, like me, you like writing, then you want a lot of journal space. I mean, there's a lot of ephemera in here, but there's also a lot of journaling space, so that's why a lot of things just clip out rather than be stuck in. It's gorgeous. That's probably from an advert. Got a little, lovely little envelope. It's a Japanese letter, I believe. I don't know which way it goes up, I'm trying to think. Not quite sure. But I thought it was really pretty. And again, you can journal on the back, make some little notes. Keep what you want in a little envelope. And another piece of that note card that I got in Japan. There's that image again. Recurs throughout this journal, which I love. Okay, this side, this is metallic. It's a dragon and some writing, and I actually got that from Chinatown when I was living in Bangkok in Thailand, and it's from an incense packet. So I thought, yeah, that's really pretty. Okay, this lovely lady, Chinese. She's leaning on the table, possibly for support, because, as you know, back then, and again, I think this is about the 1860s, 70s maybe, ladies bound their feet, had their feet bound, and quite often it was difficult for them to maintain upright or walk any distance, so it could be that, but yeah, I thought she's really interesting looking. This is another one of the cards. Like I say, there's a set of 4 of these, and they're by Chinese artists, and I'm not going to say the names because I will butcher them. I've attempted, that's my puppy, I've attempted to say the names before. It's embarrassing, so I won't. Some textile tapping there. Okay, here. This paper patch is so beautiful. Again, so we have some safety matches, Japanese, and you can write on the back. Now these are from a Japanese passport, and I think they're lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. So this lady, and this is 1921, and she's going to Honolulu, and I believe that the Japanese make up the second largest ethnic group in Hawaii, and at the height of it in the 1920s, I think they constituted about 65% of the population, but today it's around about 16. I just thought they were really interesting. So that's somebody I can hear come to the door. One moment again. Okay, no one was there. I'm trying to keep an ear out because somebody from the water board should be coming, because we have a manhole in the garden, and unknown to me, the manhole cover had rotted, and I stepped back into it the other day and I fell into it, which was not pleasant. And now it's overflowing, so this should be coming out today. So every time I hear a car, I think it's there, but it hasn't been. Right, onwards. So again, got some gilt-edged little scene there, a pagoda and a junk. My puppy's trying to crawl up my leg. This is again the opposite side of the collage that I did. And this piece here, Japanese quince, that's from a vintage copy of Flowering, I think it's trees and shrubs, or flowering shrubs and trees, or flowers. I don't know. I don't know where the book is at the moment, but yeah, I use a lot of that book in a lot of my ephemera. Here we have another pocket. It's beautiful, beautiful. Some more packaging. I think it's beautiful, Japanese. Just some botanicals that you can write on the back. So pretty. I don't know if you can see it. It's lovely. I almost didn't want to use it. Okay. Now this is a lady who played the lead role in Puccini's opera Madame Butterfly, which is my favourite opera. Surprise, surprise. And I'm probably going to butcher her name, but she's Jovita Fuentes, I believe. And again, it's on proper photographic paper and it's signed. And here is I just tucked in a little transit visa from Japan in there, 1941. I just thought that was interesting. And you can write on the back there. Slips into that belly band. This is lovely. Lovely, like a ribbon. So here we have some script. A little advert for Madame Butterfly. Again, a stamp. A little piece of a paper pad. It's a nice delicate blossom there. You can jot on, write on. Again, another bit of my collaging and decoupaging. It's very pretty. Stamping and some corner collage. And again there. This is part of that beautiful paper pack that I've had for a long time. A long time. It's so beautiful. Stamping. In this belly band we have a photograph of a pagoda. That isn't on photographic paper. It's just on printed out on card. And this is a bit I had left over from the geisha of the paper pack, and I didn't want to waste any of it, and I thought it was so pretty. And then I've decoupaged here. There's another bit of that petal, and then you can just write on the back there. This is one of my favourite spreads as well. There's a lot going on. So in this pocket now. This is a really old map of the world, how sort of Japanese viewed the world. I think is it that way? Possibly. So yeah, a very old sort of map according to the Japanese people at the time. I think it's really pretty, and you can journal on that. Tag I made. The Book of Flowering Trees and Shrubs. So yeah, so that's a vintage page, and I chose this not for the hedgehog broom, but the Japanese. Is that loquat? And then decoupage on it, and collage on it, and you can just write on there. Got another little envelope. Good. With some little pieces. And you can use these little bits and bobs. You can, decorate the pages with them if you want, or use them to decorate snail mail or anything like that, really. This is one of my art pieces. And I just laid paint down and then collaged on top this pattern from a kimono. This was I cut out from a newspaper about 15 years ago. This is from a paper pack I found at the charity shop, and some washi tape, and it's been kind of like gilt edged again. It's got some metallic paints on it, And on the back I've left it blank. You can either, you know what, you can paint, collage, draw, write on it. It's proper like painting paper. So little tag there. Some more scripts and stamping. It's got a little dragon. Collage, stamping. This is very pretty. Really floral, really pink. Really, really pretty. And in here, one of my pockets. So this beauty, young there, slightly older here. Now this was, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Mei Lang Fang. I think probably the 1920s there. And Mei Lang Fang was actually quite a renowned Peking opera artist, I suppose you would say, in sort of modern Chinese theatre. Was often called the Queen of Peking Opera. What's interesting though is that this is actually a man. And although he played some male roles in opera, he was most famous for his female portrayals, which I thought was really interesting. Got some collaging there. Some more blossoms and peacock. And then we have some paper. This I think is something to do with Taoist sorcery, I think. And this is another one of the cards with a set of 4 that I've had in my personal possession for at least 20 years. Beautiful. Another Chinese artist. They're all different artists. This paper's from that paper pack that I've had far too long. It's got dragons on it. I love it. So you can send these cards, you can write in them, snail mail them, you can frame them. Another fabric tag, some stamping. This again is from the paper pack that I've had for quite a long time. It's very pretty, some script and a bird and blossom. This is a page from a passport. In the centre, and I forgot to mention, in the centre, each centre, it's 2 signatures, so I've got these little wooden beads, like little painted wooden beads. I just felt went quite well with the idea of this journal, really. Okay, and in this pocket, so this is from a print of a cigarette card, featuring a Chinese opera mask. They have a great heritage of theatre and opera. I don't know what animal that's supposed to represent. I don't know if anyone can tell me. Is it a cat? I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I have another little envelope. Very pretty. Little dragon feminine there. That's the other side of that. I think it's from a passport again. I did say I'm pretty obsessed with old passports. Some lovely beautiful scripts, the opposite side of that page. Yeah, there's collaging there. This little flappy thing, this was from another poster I've had, which was Blossom and I think a Mandarin duck. I just thought it would make a really nice little pocket and complemented the theme. Now, this beautiful woman, again this is on photographic paper. Hopefully I'm pronouncing this right. This is Sadayako, and she was Japan's most famous and desired geisha. She was apparently the inspiration for Puccini's Madame Butterfly. She also had quite a colourful life. She travelled. Again, if you want to look online, Sadayako. Yeah, absolutely beautiful woman. This is a copy from probably a postcard or letter sent to a Japanese soldier in about 1904. So we have the rising sun there. I think is this an eagle and blossom, I believe. Another from my paper pad, and this, sadly, this didn't come out very well. But I kept it in there anyway. I thought it was quite nice. It's on quite old paper. And it's a passport of Tamakai Miura. I think that's how you say my name, Tamakai Miura. And she was a Japanese prima donna and sang an aria from Madame Butterfly again. So that's why these are all together. But yeah, love that spread. Here we have some more edging. Lots of writing space. This has got a metallic little sticker there, pagoda. And in here, this is going to be another name I'm about to butcher. So, this was the Empress Dowager, and I'm going to pronounce Circe, I think. She was a great patron of the arts, and she rose from an imperial concubine to empress. She, I believe, had the only son, and then when the emperor died, her son was only 5, so she, along with another empress, they split the rule of China. She's been quite vilified in history. Maybe not. Maybe it's not the most honest thing for her to vilify her, but yeah, she's really interesting. So if you, again, lots to read on her online. Empress Dowager, Shizhi, I think. And interestingly enough, she painted this. Not quite sure which way it's supposed to go. Probably that way. And I think it's beautiful. And these gorgeous little flying things, I think are bats. I think they're meant to be bats. Bats Mr. Pine. Yeah, by Shizhi, Empress Dowager, 1908. So, but yeah, she had a very interesting, another one, really interesting life. Could be said to have done quite a lot in her time, in her reign. Probably seems a little bit infamous, but yeah, go out there and read up. It's very interesting life. And then we just have some more collaging, some decoupage, lots of coffee pages and stamping. And this belly band, so we have another wood block. It's a light pink and baby blue kimono. And I just felt this card, again, this card I've had probably about 10 years, fitted in well. So write in it, send it, whatever you want to do. And that just slips into this belly band. Again, this beautiful paper from that paper pack from the works. Really, really pretty. I couldn't find any more of it. I went in there the other day to see if they've got any more. No. And actually, they seem to be really minimising their craft area, which was upsetting. So I used to like going there. Oh, one moment. My dog chatting to the birds outside. She doesn't like birds. She doesn't like them in her garden. Okay, so this is another copy of a Chinese stamp. Beautiful birds. Some advertising. I think they're smoking. Are they? But yeah, very pretty. And another piece of notepad. This again is this that beautiful paper pad. I've got some metallic stickering. stamping. This is from that old vintage paper pad I had for very many years. Again, some advertising, probably cigarettes again, or something like that, I think. I really like this. It's so ornate, isn't it? Look. Memorandum from Chung Ling Soo, marvellous Chinese conjurer. I think it is marvellous looking. And that's printed on this vintage paper I've had for a long time. It's very thin, yellowed paper. I love, love, love it. Can be a little bit of a devil to print on, but get there in the end. Hello doggies. I don't think it's their feeding time quite yet. They're both in here. Some nice collaging there. Oh, nearly done. One of my collages. Pocket in here. Again, something I cut out and had in my hoard. Looks like a Chinatown somewhere. Beautiful portrait by the artist Sheng Ming Kun, Chinese artist I believe. A little bit of ephemera, so we can write on the back. One more Chinese stamp, copy of Chinese stamp, can write on that. Excuse me, I've been a bit chesty recently. Again, beautiful paper. In this last pocket I thought these were stickers, but I think they're just things that you can just pop out there myself. You can just pop out, and you can add throughout the journal or to your own creative endeavours. I think they're really, really pretty. So that's in there for you. And this is from that vintage pad I bought. It wasn't vintage when I bought it. It's just vintage now because I've had it for a long, long time. And it's just so pretty, really. Oh, gorgeous. And I just folded it up, but it's there. Lots of writing space there. And I just put this inside. Saw this online, I presume from a Japanese newspaper, perhaps. I think it's really, really nice, and you can again write on the back of that. So a lot of writing space. I think it's over 100 pages. I will put the exact amount in the description of my Etsy shop. Those little gilt-edged acacias. That's the back. I think I showed you that already. Yeah, took a long time to do. Really, really loved doing it. Really enjoyed it. Felt it was about the right time. So if you are interested in that journal or any of my other journals, they are for sale in my Etsy shop, my Gypsy Attic, and I will hopefully be videoing any more that I do in the future as well. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.